So when you guys are on top, and everyone's had a chance to be on top against your training partners, and you feel you can't flatten them, kind of feels a little bit, not that you're necessarily uncomfortable.
I don't like it.
But yeah, it doesn't feel good, right? That you can't control the person, that they're able to just stay on their side and you can't budge them, you can't do what you want to them. And so normally what happens is, yeah, that's exactly the feeling. They pass your guard, they get to the cross-side, they don't have the control that they need, so they don't feel comfortable. They're in the dominant position, but they have no control, right? And so normally what happens is now the person tries to run around to the back. Yeah? Because that's the next option. Oh, shoot. I don't feel good here, so they want to change the position, right? If they feel good there, they're not going to change the position. Does that make sense? And so, can I use your... So, I'm here. I don't let him flatten me out. So normally, if you don't feel you can flatten me out, what happens? Yes. Right? So he can run to my back. And this is a... Now, if I try to get to my knees from here, right? If I roll to my knees from here, what are you going to do? Oh, that's no good. That's no good, right? So, when I'm here, as he tries to run around, just so you know, as he tries to run around, the perfect time for me to get to my knees is as he's going towards my head. Obviously, I can get to my knees at any time, right? I can get to my knees at any time I want because he can't control me, yeah? So anytime I want to get to my knees, it's very easy. From here, he's trying to flatten me out, get to my knees, right? So, see, now I can't control him. Get to your knees. It's easy. See? You can do it on command. I say, get to your knees. He's up to his knees. Go. Again. Don't let me control you. Good. Get to your knees. So you guys can play this a little bit. Okay? It's just the guy on top is trying to control. The guy on top is trying to control. And then whenever you want on the bottom, you're going to get to your knees. Okay? So that's going to be the first kind of drill, so that just so that you guys know that it's in your control, that you're the one in control of the position, not them on top. Okay? Then the next thing we're going to play with is, because now I can get to my knees whenever I want to, because he has no control of me, a lot of times what happens is he tries to run around to the back. Okay? Now remember, if I catch him, ideally I always want to get to my knees and I want to have him in front of me. Right? So one more time, and go slow motion, slow motion. So as he goes here, ideally I want to be here. I want to end up with him in front of me because now I have the advantage with takedowns. If I end up underneath him on my knees and he's in front of me, I have the advantage with the takedowns. Okay? So a lot of people think being on the bottom is a bad position, but if you guys ever watch wrestling, right? What are wrestlers always trying to do? Shoot. What is that? It's dropping their level and getting underneath their opponent. So if I can get underneath my opponent, I have the advantage. So why are wrestlers trying to do that? Well, obviously because they have a lot of options. They have the advantage once they shoot underneath, right? So by getting to my knees, I already end up in an advantageous position when it comes to takedowns. I have the advantage with takedowns from there. Okay. Now we're not going to cover turtle position so much, okay? But just want you guys to know that that's a very strong position to be able to take the top. So that's what's nice about understanding why and how to get back to your knees. It basically gives you the same result as a sweep. You end up on top, and especially in a fight, it's so important, right? To be on top. If I'm on top, I have very little risk of taking damage. If I'm on the bottom, if I do like a guard recovery, which is what a lot of people try to do, well, I can still submit my opponent, but in a fight, there's a lot of risk of taking damage, right? And you can watch, tons of YouTube videos, UFC fights where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt's on the ground and he's getting the crap beat out of him. I mean, look at the last fight with BJ Penn. BJ Penn, right? He's a black belt. They called him the Phenom, and he fought this guy Yera Rodriguez, who's like a white belt or blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and BJ was on his back trying to defend, and obviously he got rocked a little bit, but still he got crap beat out of him. And so that was just kind of the most recent one that just came to my mind. You're exposed to taking damage. So we want to get back to our knees, okay? So remember, we want to, when I get to my knees, I want to have my opponent in front of me, right? If I get to my knees and he's to my side, this is no good. I can't take him down, and you feel better? You feel pretty good from here, right? So he's already attacking my neck. He's already trying to go for the collar, maybe set up a clock or something like that, right? So what happens if we're late? That can happen. Maybe he's super fast, right? And the guy now beats me around the corner, okay? So the idea is, when I'm going to my knees, I don't turn to my knees. If I turn to my knees, right, and he's faster than me, I'm gonna end up in trouble. And this is also a strategy for many, many high-level guys, like you guys know Marcelo Garcia? So he actually, he uses this technique a lot, actually, to take people's back, right? He holds them like this, lets them turn to their knees, take the back, and then finishes. Okay? So if he beats me around the corner, or as he's trying, you guys see where he is? So if I turn to my knees, he's gonna take my back. Okay? So what I do, I don't turn to my knees. I kick to my knees. You can go behind me. So what I do is, look, I stretch my leg. Okay? I stretch my leg. This leg, the bottom leg, is so important because it controls the angle where I turn. So now I'm gonna go to my knees, take my back. Hard? So I already let him all the way behind me. He was actually here already set up to take my back, and he still couldn't take my back, right? So the idea is, check this out. If he's here, very easy for me to get to my knees and end up facing him. But what's nice about this movement, which will help protect you guys from having your backs taken when you get back to your knees, is even if he's at this angle, even if he's all the way here by my butt, so he ran all the way around and by my butt, when I kick, I can still end up facing him. So I'm the one that controls the angle, right? That when I get up, I'm always facing my opponent, yeah? So if he's here, and you start to run around, boom, he's back in front of me. Run around. He's back in front of me. I never allow him to get behind me. Even if he starts to get a little bit of an advantage, I can always catch up to him just with this movement. So it's such an important movement for you guys to start to learn, because here is easy, right? Because our hand is here. If I go here, get to your knees. Boom. See? And he's already taking me down. But once I pass this, it's a little bit danger, right? See? He's back underneath me. What if I'm here? Stretch this leg. Hit. Boom. So no matter where I end up, you can always put the person back in front of you for the takedown. Yeah? So I want you guys to play with the first thing, letting them try to flatten you out, and then you getting back to your knees when you want. Yeah, just get back to your knees. And then let them try to run around you and use the kick to get back to your knees so that they end up in front of you.
So bottom leg sets the angle, and then you do the kick to determine distance.
So that's the thing. If you're here, right, that's easy, right? But once you cut that angle, once you start to get behind me, once you start to, yes, this leg. If I do a little step, right, and say you're here, you're in front. If you're at this angle, right, now you're in front. If you that's the thing. You go all the way here with one movement, right? If I need to face you with one movement, I use a bigger kick. I'm back facing you. So there's nowhere you can run where in one movement I can't be facing you again. You're not gonna get behind me. Yeah? Does that make sense? And with one move, boom, my angle has changed so much. Now you have to run 180 degrees to get to my back. Instead of turning to your knees, which you give the back, right? So if I do this, see? He's on my back. Take the back. I let him have such a good position. He was already there. I told him, hey, I'm going to turn to my knees. Be ready to take my back. And he can't.